Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and get us started off. Welcome. Thank you for everyone for joining our first workshop of the 2020/2021 Inflow program. It's definitely a different kind of year this year. Our first year that we did this in 2019, we were able to meet in person and just do the conference. But I actually think that what we're doing this year is probably a little better because we'll be able to get to hear from a lot of industry professionals and hear directly from them and kind of get their perspective about the wastewater industry. And then we'll also be able to make this kind of a year-long thing so that way we can kind of get to know each other over the year and have different kind of workshops targeted to one specific kind of topic. So to get started off, I was going to say that if we kind of go through real quickly, everyone kind of says their name, company, or school that they're attending, and then their job title or major that they're pursuing. And then also just maybe one quick little fun fact. So we'll do that first for a round of introductions, and then we'll have Haley kick it off with her message from the president of PNCWA. So I'll go first. I'm Brittany Downing. I work for the city of Portland at our wastewater treatment plant, and I work as an engineering technician too, and I've been there for about 2.5 years now. And fun fact, today is my birthday. Woohoo!
Happy birthday.
So, thank you. So what better way to spend my birthday than with all of you lovely people? So cool. Well, I'm just going to go down the list then that I have on the participant list. So Brittany Park.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brittany Park. I work for Leeway Engineering Solutions, and I have worked with them for a whole, I think, 3.5 or 4 months. And let's see here. A fun fact about me. Oh, goodness. Brittany, you didn't give me time to think about a fun fact. Let's see here.
Put you on the spot.
I know, right? Fun fact about me. It's not very fun. Yeah, I don't know one. Let's see here. I'm the chair of Member Services Committee, and if any of you guys want to get involved in PNCWA, you should join my committee. So shameless plug there. So there's a fun fact about me. And next.
That's perfect, Brittany. All right, and then I have Bruce Ball.
Hello, everybody. I'm a guest speaker today, and I work for Brown and Caldwell. Worked for Brown Caldwell about 17 years, and a fun fact: I was in the Navy for 23 years. Retired in 2003.
That's awesome. Cool. Next, I have Elizabeth or Liz Thorley.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I go by Liz. I work for Keller Associates here in Salem. I'm in engineering training. I like spending time in the woods, and I love harvesting wild edible mushrooms when they're in.
Awesome. Cool. Next, I have Erin Lamb.
Hi, I'm at Portland State University. I'm a senior in civil engineering, and a fun fact about me is I play upright bass, and I used to teach opposing gang members photosynthesis.
Cool. Awesome. Next, I have Haley Falconer.
I mean, we can also say fine. Haley Falconer. I work for the city of Boise and am the president of PNCWA, which you'll get to hear more about shortly. My go-to fun fact, so I don't speak any other language, but I am fluent in Pig Latin. So if you ever need to communicate with me and my sister without my parents understanding, that would be the way to do it.
That's awesome. The next is Jacob Corum.
Hey everyone, my name is Jacob Corum. I'm a civil engineer 1 here at the city of Gresham, and I work out at the wastewater treatment plant. Interesting fact about me, or fun fact, I like to go and hike with my 4-year-old son a whole lot, and we've been kind of exploring the Pacific Northwest, being born and raised in Nevada. So
Oh,
It's been really nice getting up here and getting out to some more nature.
nice. Definitely different sceneries.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. Next is Mary Martin.
Hey, I'm Mary Martin, and I work at Tetra Tech. I'm a civil engineer 1, graduated from University of Portland. And let's see, fun fact about me, I'm a very good knitter and crocheter.
Nice. Next up is Leslie Martinez.
Hi, I feel like I could just say ditto to everything Mary said except for the last part, because we actually hold the same position and work at the same company. And we went to the same school. We graduated almost at the same time. I graduated 2020. So I have 2 fun facts. One is fun, one is not so fun. I don't know if you can see it or if it'll unblur, but I have a Monstera deliciosa next to me, so I really love plants, and I have a growing collection. And then my not so fun fact was that I had a virtual graduation, being a graduate of 2020.
Definitely different.
Yeah.
Next is Mary Lou Romero.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou Romero. I also work at Brown and Caldwell, but I'm actually in our Walnut Creek, California office. I've been there for 6 years. My title is Senior Associate in the wastewater group. And let's see, fun fact about myself, I'm the oldest of 9 children.
Wow. Big family.
Big family, yep.
All right. Next I have Roy Bradley.
Hi everyone, my name's Roy. I am an operator 1 here at the City of Bend. Fun fact, I am currently at work, and you're sitting in our control room at work, and so hopefully not interrupted, but
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. And then I think last but definitely not least, Sam Hawkinson.
Hello, I'm Sam Hawkinson. I am the chair of the Inflow program and a senior staff engineer at Brown and Caldwell. And a fun fact about me is I also like plants, and I grow exotic begonias in my office.
Nice.
And so here is one of my begonias.
Cool. Cool. All right. So real quick before we have Haley give her message, I was going to ask all of our Inflow attendees, just give us, answer 2 quick questions. 1, what made you interested in Inflow? And then 2, what do you hope to get out of this workshop? So I know I kind of threw those at you. So if anyone already kind of knows and they want to volunteer first, go ahead. If not, I'm going to pick on someone.
I can go.
Okay, cool.
Well, what got me interested was Leslie Martinez, because she forwarded me the email. But also I just, it's been really hard to like meet other young engineers, or like, you know, just people at kind of like the same like intro engineering level since COVID started. And it's like we all kind of face the same kind of difficulties, and it's just like, it would be really nice to have a community where we could talk about that. And then what I'm hoping to get out of it, I mean, that's kind of what I'm hoping to get out of it. But also, you know, like I'm a year and a half into my career, and so I just learning about how other people have, how other people's career trajectories has gone, and like what options there are out there. Interested in learning about that.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary. Does anyone else want to jump in next?
I can go ahead.
Oh, you go.
Oh, sorry. So I actually heard about this program from somebody at Brown and Caldwell, and they gave me the little flyer that was being passed around, and I just thought it was a really cool idea. And especially, you know, hearing that you could attend the conference with a group sounded really nice, because conferences are kind of intimidating. There's so much to do and so many different people, that just sounded like a great way to go. And then even though it went virtual, I think what's happening here is really great too. And what I'm looking forward to is just meeting everybody, different experiences at different levels, and hearing some advice, and yeah, just gaining some information and new networks.
Cool. All right. And then I think, Erin, if you wanted to go next.
Sure, I'm very flexible, but I'm coming to Inflow because I want to meet people who are doing amazing work in water, and everything that Mary and Leslie said, I also completely agree with. Learning from others, having a community of learners, being at the beginning of this. I mean, this is my first experience with engineering, and I'm loving it. But part of the reason I love it is because there's so many amazing people who reach out to each other. So this is one of those examples.
Cool. All right. And then Liz.
Yeah, I think I would just add that I was also interested in getting to know PNCWA and getting more involved with the organization.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, everyone. And with that, Haley, I'll go ahead and let you take it off.
Yeah, I just have to tell you all, this is the highlight of my week. I'm so grateful that you applied and are a part of this program. To Sam and Brittany, just real huge thanks for keeping this going and re-envisioning it for this year, but I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you for having me. So I think I mentioned it earlier, Haley Falconer, I'm the current president of the Pacific Northwest Clean Water Association. I feel it's important to say it. We often talk about it in the form of letters. It's a mouthful, but really that encapsulates who we are and the work that we're doing. And so I appreciate, really your commitment to this, and just wanted to share first a little bit about the vision, and hopefully that there's something in there that you connect to about PNCWA and that connects more broadly into your career and kind of career path as well. But as an organization, we have a vision of being a vibrant community, sustaining healthy watersheds for future generations. And for me, there's a lot of pieces of that that really resonate. Like I heard it, I bolded it as being a part of a community. Certainly we all found water one way or another. That's why we're here. But really also, for me, it's leaving something behind. It's building something better. And so right now we're also updating our mission statement. If you got on the website and read it right now, I don't know that it would resonate. But what I hear really consistently, whether it's from our board or committees, or even what I heard from you all here today on what you want is a place to connect. And that comes up over and over again. And so the words that we're really anchoring to are about educating our members, educating each other. That's really a core role that we have, connecting, and in a variety of ways and in new and different ways, but really why people come back to PNCWA, come to conference and continue to do things like this is really about the people and about connecting. And then how do we, what role do we play in promoting new ideas and new technologies? And I think that one, I don't have the right word for it yet, but something in that space that's really about the work. And so again, those words are why we're here. That educating, connecting, and being able to innovate in the programs we deliver is how Inflow was born. And building a community in PNCWA that's representative of our communities is also important. And so I guess I really want to empower you and encourage you to really kind of embrace this process, each other and the organization. And certainly, as I share a little bit of my story, hopefully there's some kind of desire to continue to be involved. And so I know there's a lot of conversation today about career trajectories, and I thought I would share mine because while I am very much a type A engineer who had from like age 16 what I thought was like a plan, it has not looked that way, and that's okay. It's really worked out well, but I think there's some nuggets in there that hopefully help the conversation. And so maybe not 16, because I started civil engineering because I was good at math and science and my dad was an engineer. So that is the way that a lot of folks enter. And it's also a reason why we have to change the way we're reaching out to folks and getting more people into engineering for different reasons. I certainly had my ups and downs with engineering. I was not going to be one of the women who didn't commit and make it to the end. And so I committed and made it to the end. And I wasn't sure sometimes if I really wanted to be an engineer, but I was certainly going to finish. But when I took Intro to Environmental Engineering, and we have colleagues that say, did water find you or did you find water? And I would say unequivocally that water found me. There was a moment in learning about wastewater that I knew that this is the work that I would do forever. And I was so grateful for that moment. Went to graduate school because I ended up in Pullman, Washington, where my husband was going to graduate school. And if you've ever been to Pullman, there's not much else to do other than go to school. So that's what I did. And then I really didn't see any other pathways. I didn't explore any other pathways outside of consulting. To me, that was just the next thing you did. It's what I knew. And the irony is my dad worked for a state agency for my whole entire life, but for some reason, I saw consulting, and I joined HDR in Boise. I moved to a place I've never been, lived apart from my spouse for a year and a half. And for me, consulting was great. And you'll have an opportunity to hear later about some of the ins and outs. What does it mean to be a consultant? What does that look like? What does that work? But I had a really non-traditional path in consulting, where traditionally, and I would look to our young engineers on the phone in consulting roles, it's a lot of design work, plans and specs. You're really kind of getting in this detailed technical understanding. I didn't do any of that, zero, which was kind of has ups and downs. Certainly, at some points made me feel like an inferior engineer. But I was really focused on water quality regulations, long-term planning, research and innovation, and skills that I really could bring to clients, and that really worked out for me. And I loved the challenge of that. And then I had a baby, and consulting became really hard. And not that it couldn't have been done, but it was, I was traveling a lot, and the balance of it just wasn't quite working for me. And it's very personal. Everyone's career path is very, very personal. And so for me, I was looking at going part-time, and that felt like a really good solution. And I share that because especially we've got a group of women, but really of families that are making decisions, day in and day out about what that looks like. And for me, that was really a driving factor. And so I got a call from my, who was now my current boss, about making the move to the city. I'd never even considered city government. I mean, really, it hadn't crossed my mind. And so I had some concerns about making that shift. And I know we'll hear from Brittany later about working in city government. But for me, it's been a great love. I love working for an organization that's really in the driver's seat and making decisions. And I loved consulting, and consulting for me was really sort of navigating in the passenger seat. But we get to see things from beginning to end. And I love that. But I'm again in a pretty non-traditional role. I manage our environmental work for the city of Boise, which means a lot of things any given day, and it's really broad in nature and requires different skills than I would have expected. And so I'm excited for the conversation later on both of those different pathways for you all to engage in. And I don't want to steal the thunder, but just sharing that both can exist and both can be very fulfilling and offer very different things. I think a couple final nuggets just on me that I'll leave with folks. I did get my PE. That was an important licensure step for me that I wanted to do. I doubt I'll ever stamp anything. It's not, I have it, I will maintain it, it's important. But I also know many engineers who don't. And I thought it would be important to say that today, especially when you're young in your career and you're figuring out where you want to go. That can feel like a real pressure and burden out there that's coming. And I guess, certainly depending on what career track you're going down, a PE is required. There's no doubt about it. But I think it's also okay to do that in your own time. And that's probably its whole own conversation that could happen around the importance of that. But I think a couple of things that are critical that I imagine you all know by now, but has never been more important than the work I'm doing today, is how important our communication skills are. And I think our engineering programs and even any technical program at a university does a pretty woeful job of preparing us for the importance of being able to communicate technical information, both written and spoken, in a way that can be conveyed to anyone. And so when we're when we're communicating about, the impact of an engineered solution or PFAS in water, we have to be able to take something so technical and make it really meaningful. And I would just encourage you all, as you're growing in your careers, to really focus in on those skills. But then I want to talk about the fun stuff. Not that work's not fun, super fun, love my job, but really where my bucket has been filled in my water work has been through volunteerism with association work. So I've been a part of WEF and PNCWA for a very long time. And it is the place where I feel like I've been able to most directly give back to the community. When I was in grad school and my early part of my career, I helped start the service project that the Water Environment Federation, our parent organization, does every year at a national conference. And for me, that's really fulfilling, because it's taking all of this that we do and giving it back in a way. And I think you all, I want to empower you to know that PNCWA is open and willing to hear and implement those new ideas. Case in point, this program. And I think we have to find ways to fill these, the ikigai, the balance of things that give us purpose and allow us to have the livelihood that we need and that we're good at, and finding some place in the middle. And for me, that's always been PNCWA. And so I want you all to know in that kind of from that end, that this isn't a token effort from PNCWA. Like, I want you to hear that we want to hear from you. We hope that you are getting out of this something as we move through this program that's important and meaningful to you. But also, we would love to have your involvement and your voice. And we have work to do as an organization, and we have this big, beautiful future in front of us that we need people and we need ideas, and we welcome that. And I'll maybe add the counter to that is I've been a part of organizations similar to this that don't. You would never see me as the president of that organization until I'm a couple decades further along in my career. And so we're an organization that, says yes to people and ideas and wants to see people as the components of our organization. We're made up of human beings. We want to see our people thrive and be, building programs around that. And so I guess I would leave with that encouragement that there's a lot of places to get involved and a huge need when it comes to workforce development. And really, I'm just excited for you all and the information that you're going to hear today. Certainly ask questions and reach out, and I'm available. You can find my contact information in the invite. But really, thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Haley.
Thanks, Haley. That was awesome. I definitely I'm still in pursuing of my PE, and so it was nice to hear that. Cool. Awesome. So we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give a brief kind of outline of today. And then I'll also give you guys a brief outline for our future workshops. Just to kind of something to look forward to. And then I'll kind of kick us off with our first topic, which is just kind of general information on the clean water industry. So today we're going to, I'll just kind of, as I just said, I'm going to start us off with general information about the industry. And then we're going to listen to Jacob Coram, who's going to tell us about different certifications in the wastewater industry. He's got a great PowerPoint that he's going to share with you guys. And all of that information also will be shared with you guys at the end of today's workshop. So you guys will be able to take home some resources for you guys. So then after Jacob, we're going to hear about just a day in the life of an engineer. As Haley mentioned, there's kind of two tracks where you can go to consulting or public sector. So we'll hear from Mary Lou Romero on the consulting engineering side, and then Brittany Park for the city engineering side. And Brittany also, similar to Haley, she's worked in both sides, so she kind of has, she can give you a little information seeing both sides of that. And then we're going to also listen from Roy Bradley, who is a wastewater operator, and kind of see what his, typical day on the job is like. And then Bruce Ball is going to give us kind of a virtual project tour about a project in Hawaii. And then Sam's going to wrap us up with some different resources that we've compiled for you guys related to PNCWA and the industry and all that good stuff. Cool. So real quick question. I'm going to ask everyone who knows where their local wastewater treatment plant is. You guys can raise your hand if you know. Awesome. Cool. Yay. Yeah, look, I work at mine, but mine's right up the road. So before working in this industry, though, I never would have even thought of, you know, where is it? You know, that's just in the back of your head. Awesome. Cool. And then who knows where you get your drinking water from? Most people, yeah? Okay. Yeah, again, before working in this industry, I never would have even thought really to think of it. It's like you just turn on your tap, you got your water, good to go. But even here in the US, there are still a lot of communities that don't have access to clean drinking water or sanitation. So I think what we do here at PNCWA is really great with kind of helping other communities strive for that, and also coming up with new technology and innovation of new ways on how to provide these important necessities to our community in a healthy way, and then also making sure that it's efficient and all that good stuff. So other things about the clean water industry, so provides drinking water and wastewater services to residential, commercial, and industrial sectors of the economy. And the drinking water standards for public water systems are usually set by the US EPA. So a lot of those standards kind of drive what we do. And if you work for the city, you're, I'm sure, really aware of what those are. And then, so the local governments usually own and operate the infrastructure, and then the consulting firms usually kind of help with those projects. So for City of Portland, we have two bureaus, Bureau of Environmental Services, which handles all of our sewage and wastewater, so kind of the dirty side. And then Portland Water Bureau kind of works on the clean side, and they take care of everything on servicing to the residential homes. So a couple other quick things about the industry. I think it's got a lot of great job security. Everyone needs water, and here's my cat. So, but yeah, everyone needs water and sanitation, so you can work literally anywhere in the world in our field, which I think is awesome. And also what's really cool is even if you work for a city government, you can still collaborate with people from throughout the world and other cities and see how they're doing things and kind of work with them and come up with new solutions. And there's also a wide variety of skills needed. So but we've got everyone from engineers to operators. And then there's also people working in the field. We have our millwrights and electricians that are there, getting their hands really in the dirt and the muck, but also room for innovation, like I said. A lot of communications, as Haley mentioned. We have to explain these really kind of difficult concepts sometimes to the community, and we have to be able to make sure that they can understand that in a way that's not like, what is all this just jargon that you're saying? So a lot of different opportunities in the industry. So whatever you kind of skills that you have and what you're passionate about, there's definitely a place within the industry that you can apply those skills. So yeah, well, that's all kind of what I wanted to share. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, quick intro on our upcoming sessions. So session 2 is going to be about networking. And we'll go to, our topics are going to be talking about the importance of networking in your career, kind of the means and methods of networking. So what's, some tips and tricks that other professionals have, and then mentoring. So mentoring is also a really important skill, or not a skill, but also very important in the professional development, and also getting that kind of networking. And to kind of go with that skills development, that's session 3. So session 3 will focus on, I'm sorry, my cat's a little crazy now. Go there. So session 3, we'll talk about, we'll get a little bit more information from other industry professionals on how they got here, you know, what was their kind of story. And then we're going to hear about some professional empowerment and learning about how to create and sell the story of you. So then when you go to that networking, you'll kind of have those skills in your back pocket to sell your story. And then also we'll talk about negotiation. So like once you get into a job, you know, salary negotiations or contract negotiations, and just kind of other tips and tricks to be successful there. And then session 4 will be about employment opportunities, and we'll have a resume building workshop, and we'll also provide some information on how and where to look for jobs in the water industry. Also kind of part of that resources packet that we'll provide you guys. So there's a lot of great sites in there that different wastewater and water companies and organizations will put their job applications. And we'll also provide, some current listings that we have. So in case you are in the job market, then you can go hunting. And then our 5th session will kind of be more of a workshop session between our attendees. So last year for 2019, the inflow attendees gave a presentation at the conference, giving us in one of our sessions, and we kind of got to talk to the people about, you know, what we were looking for as young professionals and students entering this industry, and kind of what we're looking for, and, you know, kind of our experiences coming into this. So that one's going to be, you know, in September, so we'll have plenty of time to prepare for that, and we'll put you guys into groups. And so that session will be a great time for everyone to kind of work together and come up with their ideas. And then after that, we'll have our conference. So I'm not 100% sure on how that's going to look. So keep an eye out for more information, whether it's going to be kind of a hybrid or fully virtual. So hoping for some in person, but you know, you can never plan
some in person.
Yes, so. Awesome. Yeah, I know. One thing that 2020 taught me is that now I can't really plan too far ahead. And if things change, you got to just roll with it. So yeah. Cool. I guess before we move on to our next topic, do we have any questions, comments before we get started? No? Cool. All right, so then I'll go ahead and pass it off to Jacob, and he's going to talk about our certifications.
Oh, Brittany, I think I saw Aaron's hand go up for a question. Was that right or no?
It's sort of. It was very brief. I actually wondered, Haley, if that was from the water duo. From it's Stephanie. Did water find you, or did you find?
Yeah, water? That's from the road water.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.